What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 11 with Boulder Media Radio. I'm your host, Javier, and we are in another episode for today. We're actually going to try to do a few of them this week. Since we've changed locations, I thought I'd be a little bit more proactive and just get in front of people more just at the library. So if you haven't heard, I have no internet in our location in my house, and basically have to wait until Monday next week to get internet, which kind of sucks. And so what am I doing? So I took advantage of the library, and this is why you see a big blank white wall. Don't have a nice camera. I have my decent mic with me though. Okay. And so basically I'm just kind of hanging out and trying to get some work done, being productive. I had some networking meetings done today, but what I want to do is go over our next episode. And so since I'm changing locations, I think it'd be a good idea to talk about an interesting topic. Okay, so this topic, it came up just about almost a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I was like, you know what? I think I should do an episode about this. I should talk about SWOT analysis. And if you know me, I like to bring up some controversial things at times, okay? And so I had my perspectives about what SWOT was, and some people didn't like it, and some people did, and it is what it is. And so, you know what? Here's the thing. If you're going to sit on a fence, you're going to get splinters up your ass. And what you need to do is you need to make sure you pick a side. And so I'm going to give you my theories or why I think that the SWOT analysis isn't necessarily... It's slightly outdated. And so I bet most of you guys that are probably listening to this, you probably have an idea of what it is. If you went to college, if you have some sort of academia type of background, you'll probably know exactly what it's all about. I actually have a colleague of mine that was telling me that they talked about the SWOT analysis like all throughout her MBA career, getting her MBA, and she runs a very, very successful fitness studio and some other ventures that are outside of the fitness studio as well too, with the online stuff. And she does not implement or even use anything that has to do with SWOT. And so if you're kind of wondering, first of all, is like, what in the world is SWOT analysis? What does that mean, and why is that important to me? So I thought I would bring you the most reliable source out there on the internet. And this is straight from Wikipedia. All right, this is the most reliable source. I know, I'm joking. I have a hair in my eye. Sorry, I'm joking. But my point being is that let me explain what SWOT is. And so the whole purpose behind the SWOT analysis is essentially to help you create a matrix, okay? And that matrix is designed to help you figure out what you're good at doing and what your challenges are and all this other stuff. And that's how you are supposed to establish and set up your business. And so technically speaking, that is, that's what you do. And so if you have a business idea, you sit down and you do your SWOT. If you have like a new branch for your business, you sit down and you do your SWOT. And some people, in this group that I was talking about this were like, some of the most successful companies, they run a SWOT analysis on everything. And I was like, okay, so does it mean that everyone has to do it and that makes them successful? Okay, and someone else is like, well, Nokia is no longer around. What happened to them? Apparently, they didn't really follow the SWOT analysis. I'm like, I guarantee Nokia didn't go out of business because they didn't fill out their little quadrants of the matrix for the SWOT analysis. I promise you that. And the reason I say that is that I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years, all right, 10 plus years, okay? And I went to business school at one of the top universities in the country, all right? I graduated from the Lead School of Business at the University of Colorado, a legitimate school. And I was also able to get kicked out. So when you say SWOT analysis are so important, people tend to forget about it all the time. I have to disagree with you, Sonia. And I'm going to give you some of my reasons later, so you'll find out my reasonings and stuff behind it. But I don't really think that a SWOT analysis is that important. And the reason I say this is that I've been running my business for 10 plus years, okay? And I never sat down and actually wrote out what my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats were. Never did. Does that make me a failure? Nope. Does that make me, someone unique and different? Nope. It just didn't work with me. And mind you, I went to the University of Colorado at Boulder, a very, very good school for business. And this was something that was brought up multiple times by, I guess you can, I guess you could say, in all of my classes. What did I get kicked out for? No, Sonia, I'm not disagreeing with you. I get what you're saying. I get kicked out for academics because I partied too much, and so that's kind of what I did, and so that's why I have a different methodology and different process of how I process things. And does it work for everybody? No, totally doesn't, and I'm cool with that. So as a startup, is it good? Yes, but I still think that there is different reasons or different things that keeps your business alive that doesn't require you to sit down and write down your 3 things. So for you guys that don't know what a SWOT analysis is, so number 1 is going to be your top left quadrant. So it's going to, in your case, it'd be over here, okay, which is basically, which is going to be your strengths. And so let me read the definition from Wikipedia, as we all, confirm, most reliable source on the internet, okay, is strengths is going to be characteristics of the business or project that give it an advantage over others. Okay, so you're going to sit down and figure out what are your strengths of your company, okay, and what do you do good in and all this other stuff. Perfect. All right, and then you're going to look into your weaknesses, and so that's going to be your W, which is going to be your, in my case, right quadrant, but what you see here, left quadrant over here. All right, so weaknesses would be characteristics of the business that place the business or project at a disadvantage relative to others. So basically, you're going to see what you're not good at doing, what some weaknesses are in your company, okay? O is going to be opportunities, which is going to be your bottom left quadrant, so in your case over here. And so that's going to be elements in the environment that the business or project could exploit to its advantage. Okay, so those are things that you can take advantage of and actually grow your business and grow your company. All right, and then T is going to be threats. These are going to be elements in the environment that could cause trouble for the business or project. So then anything that can be a competitor, it can be environmental location, it can be, your competition, it can be so many different things, okay? And so here's the thing, when it comes to, the SWOT, the way I kind of look at it is that it is a tool. Just like all other things in business, they are simply tools. They're designed as a tool. You can use that tool to help you. You can use that tool to set you back. You can use that tool to do whatever you want. But it's simply a tool, and that is it. All right? And so this is the part that, for me personally, kills me. And this is, again, 10 years running a business. I went to college. I got a college degree from a top university. I think at the time when I was studying, I think the lead school of business was like either top 50 or top 25 in the country, which is good. We did a business plan. I just thought about this. We did a business plan for my entrepreneurship class. Okay, and so the goal is that you went around and you got together with someone else that had a cool business idea, and then you had to recruit people that would be good members of your team. Okay, and so our business plan was called Magnibine. Okay. And I didn't invent this thing. It was an engineer. So if you were smart, if you were a marketer and a business person, you found the engineer that had a genius idea, and you're like, we can market this. This is genius. Yeah, we can totally do this. So it was Magnibine. It was an electromagnetic snowboard binding. Okay. So anyways, long story short, we did a presentation and we were in the finals, in the runnings for cash prize. Okay. On doing our business presentation to get money, to get VC money, to get investments for this thing. And sometimes some of these presentations did turn out to actually get money in the future, okay? Not all of them. Anyways, we were competing with a couple of other companies, and our company got 3rd place out of like the entire class, okay? So I'm not saying the class was like 500 people, but I think the class was like 50 people or something like that. And there was 4 people on our team. And our business plan got 4th. Nowhere in that entire business plan in the entire setup and how we configured stuff and how our professors talk to us, nowhere in there did a professor say, what's your SWOT? What's your strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? They didn't say that. Okay, and this is at nowhere did a VC, did an investor that was actually the panel that was judging our stuff, nowhere did they say, what's your SWOT? What's your strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? No one said that. Why? Why didn't they say that? Why didn't they bring that up? I mean, we're in an academic location where we're doing a business presentation for potentially getting some money, and nothing. And so here's my thing, and this is my theory, is that I, to a degree, think that the SWOT analysis is somewhat outdated or is not something that is pushed as much as it used to be. I feel like in college, there's a set or standard of how things should be done, how you should be doing this, this, and this, and this. When in the real world, it is slightly different. In my opinion, running your business, you don't sit down and you don't put things in quadrants. Sometimes, and this is the best way I've seen it, and this is what I've seen from other entrepreneurs talking about this, but I got this from Gary Vaynerchuk, listening to one of his podcasts. He's like, how you go to a restaurant and the table is like all wobbly, right? And and we're like, yeah. And he's like, when you go to the restaurant, the table's all wobbly. And what they usually do is they basically put the little coasters underneath the table to stop the table from like wobbling so much, right? And, be like, oh, yeah, totally. He's like, that's my business. That's my company. Now, mind you, Gary Vaynerchuk runs a $100 million, $200 million, $500 million business that's essentially focuses on digital media and digital marketing, okay? I promise you, they're not sitting there saying, okay, Ford, before we work with you, let's sit down and figure out what your SWOT is. They're going to use different things that works best for their business, okay? Now, am I saying that you should never analyze your business and see what you're good at doing? Am I saying that you should never analyze your business and see where there's opportunities? I'm not saying that. Never implied those things. What I'm simply saying is that most entrepreneurs, probably don't have a college education. And I'm talking like an entrepreneur that like you could have gone to school for whatever, but you probably didn't go to business school with an entrepreneurial degree or a marketing degree and then get taught all this stuff and then apply it. I can almost promise you that most of them are not doing it, okay? And the reason I personally think this is that sometimes when you run your business, you have to be quick. You have to put out fires. There are so many different things going on, so many moving parts that you're like, the last thing on your mind right now is S. The last thing on your mind right now is O. The last thing on your mind right now is W. Do you see what's going on? So that is what a SWOT analysis is. Essentially is figuring out your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. So how can it help build a foundation? I mean, I think it's a good thing to use if you're looking just to kind of get a foundation and an idea for your company. I mean, it's great to use it for, all right, this is what I'm good at doing. These are my strengths as a company. Our company is good at doing X, Y, and Z, and weaknesses. This is not what we're really focused on. This is not what we're really good at doing. And these are our weaknesses, QRX. And then so these are opportunities that we have going after this company, or going after these niches or these, areas for getting more business is what we need to leverage. And these are our threats. These are going to be our competitors. This is going to be our environment. This is going to be our things. I'm not saying that you should never sit down and use it as an idea to kind of figure stuff out. But what I'm getting to is that I don't feel like most entrepreneurs understand what SWOT is, and they don't implement it to what it was designed for. My father-in-law has been running a restaurant for 17 years. Okay, let me tell you a quick story here. He's been running a restaurant for 17 years in Colorado City. It's the longest standing restaurant in Colorado City. Okay, and you're like, where's Colorado City? In Colorado City. Okay, it's south of Pueblo. And he opened his restaurant with no understanding on how to run a business. Zero. He's never opened a restaurant before. He has never done any kind of marketing or business stuff or anything like that. He never did any of that stuff. He was a very high level academic person that got a degree in English. Okay. I'm pretty sure SWOT wasn't discussed in his class. Okay. And I want to say he was getting his MBA in, I forget in what, it was something with science. All right. And then he was a thesis statement away from getting his PhD. Okay. I kid you not when I say this, my father-in-law is a genius. Like his IQ, I think, is like 165 or something like that. Playing Scrabble with this man sucks. Okay? Worst thing in the planet, because he knows every word and you're like, I want to challenge that, but that probably is a word. But point being is that my father-in-law is super intelligent academic-wise. He has like this really, really, smart brain that it just retains stuff. And he was essentially in the medical field for several years. And he got sick of it. So what did he do? He took out all of his retirement and put it into a restaurant. Okay? So who in the world would do that? Who would put that all, like, with no understanding how to do a restaurant, like no understanding how to run a business plan, no understanding none of that stuff. Okay? 17 years later, this is the longest standing restaurant. He doesn't really do any marketing. I'm actually slowly implementing marketing strategies for his company. Crazy, okay? He has staff there that have been there forever, that love him. He has clients, I kid you not, that come all the way as far north as Wyoming, all the way as far south as Santa Fe, okay? Or even Albuquerque, even further south, Albuquerque, okay? Now, they do it based on their road trip, and they'll specifically make the trip to go to Max's, exit 74 and I-25, okay? Eat breakfast or eat lunch, whatever. Make sure they get there at the hours, leave, do whatever their vacation is, and do the same thing coming back down. They do it on purpose every single time. I'm sorry to tell you this, is that I'm sure that my father-in-law didn't sit down and write down SWOT and figure out what his strengths were and what his weaknesses were and what his opportunities were and what his threats were. He didn't do that. What he did, though, he did something a little different. And this is nothing different. It's not like, oh my gosh, that's, groundbreaking. I can't believe he did that. You want to know what he did? He was passionate about what he did. He worked his ass off. He worked hard. He took care of his customers. He made sure everyone was happy. He really took care of his employees. He did a lot of different things that were unorthodox. All right. His restaurant does not take any credit cards. I'm dead serious. They have an ATM machine, cash only or checks. That's it. Cash only or checks. They don't take credit cards. And how many restaurants have you gone to that doesn't take credit cards? Not very many, especially in today's day and age, and especially at the rates that you can get them. All right. Next is he doesn't have a website. How do people find this guy? Yet this guy has more 4- and 5-star ratings on Facebook, Google Review, TripAdvisor, and Yelp. Okay. I can tell you right now, SWOT did not get him that. Okay. And I'm just using him as an example. And there are several other entrepreneurs that are extremely successful that didn't do that. They didn't sit down and write down their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And the reason, and mind you, there are restaurants around him. Okay, there's 3 restaurants off of exit 74. All right, there's a place called Obie's, which is a barbecue place. There's a place called Three Sisters, which is it used to be like 4 different restaurants since I've been married to my wife. So and then there's Max's. It's called Max's Place. Okay, and it's been there for 17 years. Everyone thinks that my father-in-law, his name is Max, and it's not. They named it after a dog. Okay, so can a SWOT analysis give you a foundation for your business? Yeah, it totally can. It can totally give you a foundation for your business. Is it imperative to have to make your business successful? No. It is not imperative to have to make your business successful. Okay? And I have my theories behind this. The reason I say this is that we live in a digital age. We live in a world that you can really minimize, or you can compete with bigger levels of competition without having to have the overhead and the other costs to compete with some of these other competitors. Okay? There was a time when like the dominant media was TV, radio, print. And guess who put everything in there? The people that had the most money. Okay? Now, TV is beginning to die. Radio is on its way out. Print, I mean, come on. Do we really need to talk about print? It's not really as effective as it used to be. Okay? And those are the three dominant media outlets: TV, radio, print. These three outlets that have dominated marketing, okay, and getting client acquisition for 50 plus years is beginning to dwindle. And why? Why? It's because of online marketing, digital media. All of a sudden, we have small companies that are creating small followings that are competing, I'm not going to say dollar for dollar, but are competing with some big players. Okay? So my point being is that the digital world has really leveled the playing field. Okay? And so what used to be considered a threat is not really a threat. It's just like, well, they have their following, we have our following. Okay? Today, I feel like more people do business based on culture. Okay, based on like if they relate to something, they're like, that calls to me. And I say these things because when I had my business, I had people that truly loved the business because of the culture that I created there. And no matter what was open, studios, other things that are around us, they never left because they loved the culture that we created there. And so that's my whole purpose, my whole reasoning behind this is that those, like this business theory of a SWOT analysis doesn't go over culture. Like tell me what the value of culture is. What is the dollar amount of culture? Because in my opinion, I believe that culture is the new currency. It is the thing that is setting companies apart, all right? And it's something that big companies are trying to start implementing more and more so, but yet they can't do it. Or they're so far behind because the other ones started creating culture a while ago that they can't catch up. And so these companies that were smaller, the customers are doing business with them because they believe in the culture, they believe in what they stand for, they believe in all those little things. Okay? And so what I'm getting to is that is something that I think that has leveled the playing field, is this digital world. All right? I mean, for the first time, not ever, but I'm able to have a podcast. Okay? I'm able to have a webcast. Okay? I don't have to pay several hundreds of thousands of dollars to get in front of my audience to a TV station and a radio station. Guess what? I purchased my mic for $150 on Amazon. Okay? I bought this app called Ecamm for my Mac for $80. All right? And I've had my MacBook for forever, okay, for like since 2011. So let's not even go over what the price is of what it's worth now. So in reality, I'm able to get to my audience, all right, with this and this, and I use my phone, but again, we can't use it today. So what am I saying here? What I'm trying to get to, guys, is that the world that we live in now, it's different as far as how we can compete. So do I think that there are other digital media companies that are threats? Not necessarily. Why do I say that? Because all of them have their own specialties. Now, do we overlap? Totally. We totally overlap. We have things that we're similar at. Yeah. Do they have better things that they're better at than I am? Yeah, totally, for sure. Am I going to admit that? Nope. Because I'm a damn good salesperson. I'm very good at talking to people over the phone, explaining what we do, what our products are, what our services are, and creating value in my conversations. Okay? Now, how do you put that in? Like, yes, it's a strength. I get that. Okay? But, here's the thing, is that a sales organization may not have that many people that are like me. Why? Because I'm passionate about what I do. Which leads me to my last point, is you got to have passion and patience for your business concept to work out. Okay? That's something that is not taught in college. Passion and patience. They talk theory. They talk all this other academia stuff. And I'm not saying it's wrong. Again, I graduated from one of the top universities in the country, and was able to get kicked out of it as well too, and get reinstated and get a college degree. Cool. Okay. But I graduated from a top university. And the one thing that we didn't really go over was passion and patience. All right. Like we didn't learn about culture, because culture was kind of like, it's a cool idea. It's novel. It's neat. It's cute. We didn't go over passion. And so why is passion important? Here's the thing, guys. Let's say that you are passionate about, birds, okay? And that you have a blog and you have a video blog and you go bird viewing, not bird hunting, but like go bird viewing, whatever. You take pictures and you talk about different birds and you do all this stuff, and you are like one of the top resources for knowledgeable people about birds and how to find them, what kind they are, and all this other stuff, right? Can you monetize from that? You totally can. Is that a strength? Yeah, totally. Are you going to sit there and be like, I love birds, I'm just going to keep talking about this, and then all of a sudden, let's say that you have an opportunity to, maybe get on a blog, maybe be a guest interviewee for a local podcast or a big podcast talking about birds. You get a bigger following. And then someone that, sells bird food, okay, says, hey, you have 500,000 people that read your blog on a weekly basis. Can we put some ads on your website? Totally. You can totally put ads on there. So is this person, okay, do they have a lot of competition? Do they have any threats? I don't think so, because how many people are out there verbally expressing about their knowledge, their love, their passion about birds? Okay? And so you can see it. You can see it in what kind of pictures they take. You can see it on the videos. You can see it in the blogs that you read. You can see it in everything. And sometimes that passion is more valuable than anything else. And then the patience. This person that was writing about blogs and stuff about birds wasn't looking to cash out. What were they looking for? Because they just wanted to do it. They just wanted to do the whole bird thing. And all of a sudden things kind of started happening. They started getting deals as far as, ad deals and whatever. My point coming from all of this is that I think it's more important to sit down and look at your business and think about what your passions are. Okay, think about what your culture is going to be, and then make sure you talk to yourself and tell yourself that you need to be patient. Okay? Does this SWOT thing work? Yeah, it totally does. I'm not saying it doesn't. Is it outdated? To a degree, my opinion, yeah, I think it is. I think it's slightly outdated. Okay? Is it wrong? No. There's been several businesses and companies that have done it. But does it mean that you have to follow it to be a successful business? What it simply means is that it's just another theory that people use to try to help you figure out, what to do for your company or your next venture or your next line or whatever it is. Okay? But I can tell you right now that there are a lot of several entrepreneurs that are out there that are making 200, 500, 750, $1 million a year, not them personally in their pocket, but their company, okay? And they don't do a SWOT analysis, but yet they're making good money. They're pulling in a 6-figure income, all right? I was one of those people, okay? I didn't run a SWOT analysis to be my success, okay? I was making a 6-figure income doing it, all right? And so you don't have to do that. So what I'm getting to is that don't ever get caught up to thinking that you are not able to start your own business because you don't know how to write a SWOT analysis. So when someone asks you that, be like, you know what? I don't know. But here's what I have that no one can beat me on. I have more passion, I have more patience, and I'm willing to make sure that I have the right culture in my company and what I'm offering and how I'm going to do this that's going to be better than everybody else. Does that mean that that's going to carry you to the next level? Maybe not. But here's the thing. You love what you're doing, and you're doing it because you love it. And that's important. That's something you have to understand. So those are my reasons on why I kind of think that the SWOT analysis is outdated. Again, you can argue as much as you want. I don't care. I knew as soon as I did this, I would probably have someone sitting here listening to this and I hate Javier. Can't believe he's talking about that. And then there's other people that are like, yeah, I don't have a college education. Didn't go to business school. I don't know what SWOT is. None of that stuff. And guess what? They're still killing it. My father-in-law, killing it. All right. I mean, I went prospecting yesterday to local businesses, started talking to different business owners. And I can tell you right now, a lot of them were not college educated, okay? And they're extremely successful. A lot of them were not college educated, extremely successful, okay? And I promise you, they weren't sitting there like our SWOT. How do we do this, guys? They weren't doing any of that stuff, okay? They basically took their passion. They're like, we're going to do this. We're going to service our customers. We're going to be awesome at what we do. We're going to love it, and we're going to have fun doing this. And if we make a lot of money, great. And if we don't, well, we didn't make a lot of money, okay? So that's pretty much it, guys. That's kind of my whole theory for episode 11 on the SWOT analysis. I'd love to hear your comments. Post them below. I'm not here to get into any kind of crazy debate, okay? Because in reality, like, I don't think there's a debate about this. I think there is a theory, and it's just what it is, okay? And if you do have comments, love them, post them below. If you agree with me, great. Post why you agree with me. If you don't agree with me, post below why you don't agree with me. And if you're watching this show on replay, please post #replay. All right. Make sure you guys give a shout out to Boulder Media Radio for doing these shows. Again, this is episode 11. I'm your host, Javier. Thank you for this opportunity, and I'll talk to you guys later.